Hi and welcome to another video. As you can tell from the thumbnail, I'm actually exploring turbo yeast and using only a small amount of it. And let's go back right to the very beginning. When I started first off in this hobby, I was very attracted to turbo yeast because it gave you a large volume of alcohol for a very little effort, and it did it very fast. So I started that as everybody else does, or most people do, and a lot of people still do it after quite some time, and they're very happy with the outcome. Well, I'm not too happy with the outcome, so I actually converted over to a different type of yeast. Yeast of preference when I'm doing a vodka run is actually using baker's yeast. But it does give me only around about 9 or 10% ABV for the wash, which is not much. So I had decided I'm going to explore this. I want to actually explore what it's like to use turbo yeast with only 1/3 of it being used, leaving 2/3 or 160 grams for another 2 washes later on. Now, firstly, let's just disclaim, I do agree that this hobby is in the eyes of the beholder, or the taste of the beholder to be more precise. And if you like the taste of turbo yeast, it is good and perfect for you. I personally, I'm not too keen on the taste of turbo yeast, so that's why I explored elsewhere. All right, now let's just go through the specifics of this. When I started, I had about 25 litres of water. That's after putting the sugar in. And the sugar, I actually put in 7 kilos of sugar. And that's all right, that's good. I put in the turbo yeast and I checked the specific gravity, and it was a little bit high. So I wanted to lower that, so I actually put in some citric acid and a teaspoon of DAP as well, because keep in mind, when I'm taking all of that out of the equation, a lot of its yeast nutrient is actually being removed too, so I'm putting a little bit in. Okay, so I put it in, it started working nicely and bubbling away like a beauty. And I was rather impressed. I thought, well, this is reasonably, not hectically fast, but it's reasonably fast. And it started going off and started slowly slowing down over a period of time. Now, this whole process lasted about 14 days until the yeast finally stopped bubbling. Now, I started off with a specific gravity of 1.13. That's with the potential, showing a potential 17% ABV, and it ended up at 1.020 of about 3%. So that means I had a little bit of sugar left in it, so that means I had about potential 14% ABV in the final product, and I was quite happy with that. And it did not smell strong, so I just went through and did the whole thing. Just ran the lot today. As you can see in front of me, I ran it from beginning through to very end where the reflux column actually stopped because there was nothing left for it to come out. And to tell you the truth, I'm extremely impressed with the outcome. There's quite some interesting quality here. There's nearly nothing, nearly no flavour, nearly no odour there. But you can tell obviously the alcohol essence is there because it gets a little tingle in your nose. But when you go from the beginning, yes, there's acetone there. But keep in mind, what I'm doing here is I'm actually going through and actually trying to find a better volume solution than my 10% baker's yeast runs. And so I'm rather pleased with this. I think it did rather well. Would I use it again? Definitely. Next time I'm doing a vodka run, I'm going to use this. So I'll actually use a little bit less than 7 kilos, maybe 6.5 kilos this next time. So it won't stall at 3% like it did with this one. But would I use it again? Definitely. Now I'm going to do the cutting now. So I'll be taking out the heads, tails, and I'll be making my personal choice on where the cut should be. Now keep in mind, my brother, he loves turbo yeast. He loves this hobby. He has exactly the same still as I, and he uses turbo yeast, and he throws away about that much and that much out of it and keeps all the rest, and he puts that in to his mix. So it carbon filters out. So that's fine. I'm probably going to be narrowing it down a little bit more than that, but I'll come back after I've made the cuts and show you the end up volume that I actually have. Well, here's the end product. After doing my cuts, I actually discarded the top, the first 2 and the last 4 containers, and I only put these 6 into this bottle here, and I ended up with where are we? 1.75 litres of 93% ABV, which is roughly 186% proof. Now, after I've watered that down, to 40% ABV, and I watered it down, and it came in at just over 4 litres of distillate, which I'm very pleased with, and it actually has a very pleasant odour as well, very, very little odour. Now, I'm going to put this through, now it's at 40% ABV, I'm going to put this through my carbon filter, and I'm going to put it through on a very slow drip, like 1 every 2 seconds or 3 seconds. Very slow drip. I'll probably do it twice and just see how it fares then, but I think twice should be more than sufficient for this to become extremely neutral with very little odour. So whatever I mix with it or instill into the liquid is going to mix in its own individual flavour. So I'm pleased with that. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Yes, you can actually use turbo yeast. You don't need to use all of it. Simply, I've learned that using 1/3, just to recap, using 1/3 of the turbo yeast allows you a good result, and it gives you, as I said, when I used 1/3, I only lost about 3% of the ABV. So it came in quite reasonable. It came in, ended up at 14% ABV. So I'm very happy with that, and I'm going to use it again. So yep, if you like it, use it. It's been a pleasure to put this video together for you. I hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoy what I do here. Hopefully you do too. Now, if you did like it, please like, subscribe and share. And if you want to actually tell your friends about us, by all means do. It's been a pleasure being here with you today. So until next time, cheers.